Today I want to talk about the most common mistake that I see women making in the deadlift. And I made this video a couple days ago and I put it on YouTube and I watched it and it was way too long-winded and not really enough practical information. So I'm going to remake it right now, really brief, really concise, and to make sure you walk away from this video knowing exactly what the mistake is, exactly how to fix it, so that you don't have lower back pain when you deadlift and so that you can lift more weight safely. Alright? So the most common mistake that I see women making in the deadlift is seriously overarching their lower back, alright? But not at the top position, like a lot of people talk about with both males and females, but specifically with females in the bottom position and the starting position, alright? So before they even lift the weight off the floor. Now, I'm going to demonstrate what this might look like. Just keep in mind, I don't have a lot of the mobility, especially relative to what a lot of females have, so it might not look like I'm really overarching very much, but just keep in mind I'm arching very hard, and a lot of women, when you see them in the bottom position, they're actually going to have almost like a half moon shape with their lower back that you'll be able to see. So what we're going to see with a lot of women when they get to the bottom position is a really overarched lower back, alright? So this a lot of times is exacerbated and perpetuated with the cues either arch, obviously, or chest up. Okay, so a lot of times we'll see people get in the bottom position and you'll hear a coach yell, chest up, and the lifter will come here. And that immediately arches the lower back. And when that happens, you can't use your abs as well, all right? Because when you're arching your lower back, now you're not able to actually brace your abs as effectively because now you're relying solely on your lower back. And you can see a lot of this happen while people are deadlifting, because when they're in the while they're in the bottom position, a lot of times you'll see, especially with women, they'll really struggle off the floor, and as soon as they even break the bar off the floor, they start to round their lower back. And the reason is because what prevents your lower back from rounding is actually the brace that your abs provide. And if you're arching, even if it's just a little bit, even if you're arching a little bit too much, you're not able to brace as efficiently, and your lower back will come out of that position, especially as the weight gets heavier. It's sort of like retracting your shoulder blades, right? A lot of people say retract, and then as the weight gets heavier, it's inevitably going to come out. So we want to start in that position to begin with. You want to start with your arms really long. The same thing for your lower back. You don't want to start over-arched like this, because inevitably you're going to come out of that position and round, and that's when people are more likely to get hurt, okay? Most people, they aren't going to get hurt if they're already in a little bit, either a neutral or even a slightly rounded position, if they can maintain it throughout the entire movement. But if you start in an arched position and then you start to round as you come up, that's usually where most back issues come from during the deadlift. So what I like to do to fix this is I like to bring them up to the very top position. And the first thing I want to do is I show them the difference between keeping your chest tall and arching your lower back. Two very different things, alright? When I'm standing in front of someone, I always want to be able to see the letters on their shirt. But there's a big difference between seeing the letters on their shirt from this position, which I can, and then telling them to arch even further or get their chest up even further. You don't have to be able to see their belly button. You just have to be able to see the letters on their shirt, okay? So from this top position, I get them to know the difference between maintaining this neutral spine position, which is good, chest tall, and overarching, all right? And a lot of coaches call this chest tall position without arching ribs down, okay? It's a great cue as well. So you want to keep your ribs down, ribs flat. You don't want your ribs flaring out. And then from here, I actually like to even cue a little bit of a forward shoulder roll, okay? Not too much, not excessive, but rolling your shoulders a little bit forward so that you can promote a little bit of an upper back rounding. Not too much, just a little bit, because if you're rounding your upper back, it's a lot harder to then arch your lower back, all right? And it's safer to have a rounded upper back than it is to have an arched lower back. So slightly rounded upper back, which also protracts your shoulders. You keep your ribs down, chest tall, and then you come back, and now in this position, you are much safer, much stronger, and you're going to have a more efficient force transfer from the ground all the way up. Because instead of being arched and then tugging and then rounding as you come up, You're gonna stay in this exact same position the whole time, and once you start driving through the floor, your torso isn't moving. You're locked in, you're stable, you're strong, and you're a lot less likely to hurt yourself, and you're a lot stronger in the process, okay? So if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.